My name is Randy. I run RisingSunPerformanceMobile. Originally it was a mobile mechanic, but at this point I've started to get a lot busier with the projects I'm working on. So I figured I'd take this time to help myself and help you guys and do a lot of DIY mechanic work, a lot of weird stuff that you don't really find too often. I'm more of a JDM guy than anything else, but at this stage, I'm starting to get past the JDM. I will forever love JDM. That is Nissan Datsun is what I love the most. So, for example, the projects that I have going on for myself now, which I'll show you guys shortly, you might be able to see on here, I got a 63 T-Bird, I have a Kawasaki Vulcan, and this one is not mine. I'm a mechanic for a used car dealership. I help them 5-6 days out of the week, depending on what really we have going on. But I've recently acquired this shop. I used to be just a typical backyard mechanic working in the grass and the elements, and I got lucky enough to have this opportunity kind of fall in my lap. So I figured I may as well utilize it the best I can and see if I can help a lot of other people. So from there, we will start to give you a little bit of a tour around. It's a mess right now. I just got back from Pennsylvania. I live in North Carolina, right on the East Coast. It is currently, as you can probably see, pretty chilly here. It's, I think, 30 degrees right now, something like that. But I'll take you on a tour. Don't mind the mess. It'll be cleaned up at some point. I try to clean up after each job as much as I can, but some of you guys know once you get done with the job, you just don't want to even look at it for another week. So with that being said, let's at least start taking you on a tour. Today, I don't have any DIY stuff to do quite yet. It's more of an introduction, explaining, well, me and what I'm going to start doing on this channel. So let's see what we got going on now. All right, and for starters, we're going to start off with the T-Bird and the bike. That's really the only major personal projects I have going on right now. So for the bike, it is an 05 Kawasaki Vulcan. I'm in the process of doing a cafe/bobber style build. And I'll also make a note that I am not a fabricator by any means. I try to, nor a welder. I am jack of all trades, master of none. So I'm just, at this point, typical, try to get stuff done with what I have laying around. I don't have any major special tools. So for example, you'll see this terrible looking seat. I did make this myself. I'm not done with it yet. It was very late at night and I do have neighbors. So all I've done to this really so far is I bought it needing a stator cover gasket, which if you know anything about Vulcans, you gotta pull the motor out or cut the frame. I decided to notch the frame, replace the stator cover, and just keep all the plastics, all the fairings off. And pretty much at that point, I decided to start cutting away at things. So it's very, very far from done. I still have plans on swapping handlebars. I need to finish cutting this and then lower the bike, and still have to figure out something with the front end, clean up the gas tank or replace the gas tank. I do plan on still dimpling the seat, cutting it to fit, making it a little bit thinner. I actually made this out of a lot of stuff I had laying around. These are valve springs from an Xterra. I try to use anything I can with what I have. The exhaust, I had pipes laying around, cut them to fit, slapped them on. Just cheap Harbor Freight welder is what I have for that one. This guy. This is 63 T-Bird that I'm actually working on paying off currently. So I can't really do too much to this quite yet. But my plans for this is I plan on doing a turquoise body and a metallic root beer roof. I might keep the patina for a little while. I might slap a clear on it and see what happens. And if I like that, I'll keep it, but I don't think I'm gonna like it as much as I would hope, mainly for the fact that there's Not really enough blue on the trunk and on the roof. But my plans for this, I'm still hunting for a motor. It might get LS swapped, it might get 350 swapped, it might get whatever I can end up finding. The interior pretty much needs a full restoration. But the best part about this is that there's almost no rust on the car. I'd say, apart from obviously the patina that it has, none of it is through and through, except right behind this panel right here, right on the back side of the wheels. So this one's not gonna go, I'm not gonna go too crazy with this one. I plan on just doing RGB headlights, infinity taillights, front end disc conversion, and I'm gonna try using bags. I've never done bags before, so I'm gonna see how it goes with bagging a vehicle. I currently have an 2000 F250. It has bags in the rear, but they're pretty much useless on the truck right now. I don't haul anything heavy enough to use them. So since this has a leaf spring rear end, I should be able to utilize the bags off my truck and put them on here. The front end, I'm gonna have to figure something out. And then from there, it's getting bags, a couple RGB. I do personally like underglow, so we'll end up having underglow. But I'm excited to start getting this thing running and driving. It's still gonna take quite a while though. For those of you that might be interested, this is the trike wing that I referred to previously. It is a 1983 Honda Goldwing. It is a GL1100 with a Ford Ranger rear end. I say we because I'm also into this. I'm just gonna take it around a little bit. We have to decide on what we're doing with it yet. My next step is to mount the body, clean up the body a little bit because it does have the whole fiberglass shell with the fake gas tank. And we're going to start to get the body looking good, and if we can get it looking nice enough, we might end up trying to put it on the road. I've rebuilt the cars, I've redone the timing on it so far. We haven't quite gotten the motor running well enough yet, so we're gonna play it by ear and see what happens with this one. Might put it on the road, we might just try to get a little bit of money out of it. Kind of go from there. When it comes to any kind of specialty tools that I have, one of the first things I bought when I got the shop is the drill press and the vise. I've always wanted them. I've never had anywhere to put them, anywhere to use them. I've never had any kind of garage before this, and this will be my 3rd month in this garage, and I absolutely love it. So as you can see, like I said, it's a mess. I left Pennsylvania and just kind of left everything as I had it whenever we left. This is going to be the paint that we're going to be using on the trunk wing. It's more like a metallic teal. I use a lot of eBay paints for now just because I'm still learning. And a few colors I have yet to really perfect. I got to work a lot more on the prep work for it. But I really don't have too many specialty tools. This is kind of, every once in a while you'll need something like that, but anything I use this for, I can most likely use a drill and a drill bit for. This is some of the parts for the trike wing. There's the faux gas tank, front fender, gas tank cover. And from there, when it comes to welding, I've used the cheap $80 Harbor Freight welder before. It worked great for the first 6-7 years that I started welding. But I'm not looking at this one. It's about 200 bucks. I highly recommend it. It's extremely lightweight, extremely portable. But that produces a lot better welds than the cheaper variant of the Harbor Freight welder, assuming you have the right welding wire. And then from there, it's just a matter of what a lot of normal stuff you see in most shops, as far as I can tell. A lot of stuff kind of thrown together, thrown here and there. Otherwise, the compressor came with the shop, and that is a godsend. This right here is the fiberglass body that we're using on the trike wing. As I said before, don't mind the mess. It's just a matter of, I gotta get this place cleaned up. This was one of my Christmas presents from my sister. So I have not really utilized that quite yet. But here's what the main area of the shop looks like. This right here, I was gonna try to do a transmission on it, but I don't believe it is worth it. It needs a cat. I bought it from a scrapper. It needs a cat and it needs a transmission. It's got an automatic transmission that's bad. Other than that, it runs and drives great. It just screeches like a motherfucker. Basic tool setup. When I first got this place, I thought I would be overwhelmed with the space that I have, but it's actually a small space, or smaller space than I expected. This room back here will eventually be turned into my paint booth, which that's going to be planning up. I'm going to be planning that coming up soon. I have a 1972 240Z that I'm going to be painting here soon, doing a lot of body work on. It was mine 9-10 years ago. I lost motivation for it, so I sold it to my best friend. He's actually the one that got me inspired into doing videos and pursuing that, see what happens, go from there. I sold it to him about 1.5 years ago now, and he's pretty much gotten it roadworthy. We just have to get it all one color at this point. And with all of that being said, I do thank you for sitting by, watching, supporting my first video, and I do plan on making a lot more. It depends on what kind of DIY stuff I have going on. I can do anything from engine rebuilds, frame restorations, floor pans, body restorations. I don't know why I specifically said floor pans, but mechanic work is what I love doing more than anything, and I hope I can express that to all of you. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, even for just sitting through this. I know it's cheesy. I've never really been great with talking to just a camera. So I am a little nervous right now, but I need to try to get used to this and pursue something that I love and try to see how far it takes me, because I do love videography, I do love photography. It's just I never seem to have the right touch for it. So I figured I would go ahead and give it a shot, go with this path and see where this path leads me, along with doing all the mechanic work and really anything else I have going on. Majority of it is going to be a lot of custom stuff, very, very amateur custom stuff, specify that one, and just see where it goes from there. Thank you.